I'm working on this antique window seat. This has obviously been bespoke made for a big house somewhere. It's a one-off piece. Now I've stripped all the fabric off it at the moment, but there's an issue with the seat, and what's happening is the seat's sinking in like that. So you can see where it's sinking in. So what I've done is I've undone the tacks all along the edge of the horsehair, which fix onto here. So then what I've done is lifted this up. Now the horsehair will be stitched to the hessian underneath. So I've snipped all the thread that was holding it on, and you can see what the issue is. With the seat sinking in, it's this hessian. What happens with that is if I lift this horsehair off and put it out of the way, you can see what happens over the years. This going up and down, this hessian here, you can see where it's fixed here. So that's the edge of the hessian, and it's tacked onto the frame there. This actually cuts through on the edge of the frame over the years going up and down. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'll remove all this hessian off the frame here, cut it off the springs where it's stitched onto the springs, and then from there I'll show you how to lace the springs in. I've got the hessian off the top of this now, so I had to cut all the little strands of thread off down to the springs. So all the springs are in situ, but they're not laced in. So these are wobbling around like this. So what I need to do is get this. So if I put a tack in here to start with, knock the tack part way in, wrap that round. Same again on the back. Wrap it round the tack head so it's nice and tight. So normally these springs, if these were in a chair where they're a lot higher like this, I would tie this laid cord onto here and down. But because this is very low, this is the height of these springs, I'm tying them to the top. I wouldn't usually. So what I'm doing is, this is called a laid cord. This is what I'm using on the springs. It's a very thick, heavy linen twine. So get it on the spring, tie a knot. So that's secured on there. So that's fastened opposite the frame on the spring. Come across to the other side of the spring. Wrap the cord round it, pull it tight. What I'm doing now is just tying another knot. I know my hand's in the way. You see there, that's created another knot. So that's tight there now. So I'll work out the spacing on this, how much twine I want on it. So that looks about right there. So what I'll do is pinch that cord there with my thumb. So what I'm doing now is just, if I do it like this, you can see. So that there, you see, all I'm doing is creating a knot. So there's the knot. Pull it tight. So if I pull it tight again, pinch it with my thumb, tie the knot. So again with this, get a tack, stick the tack in the frame, knock it part way in, wrap the cord around it, Sure it's the light. Same at the back. Right, so that's those two springs there. What I'll do now is do exactly the same on all these springs. Then when they're all fastened front to back, I'm going to tie exactly the same way across that way. So they're all fastened in that way. All the springs are laced in now, so this is what's called lacing in. So these springs now all act as one. They don't all move independently, they're all fastened in and secure. So the next thing on top of this now is this, and it's called spring canvas. And basically it's a very heavy Hessian. And it's designed to go over the springs. So what happens with this is it goes over the top of the springs. It stops all the horsehair and packing falling through. So what I'll do with this now is I will go and secure all this on. I'll fix it to the frame. Once it's fixed to the frame, I'll show you how to stitch the springs to the spring canvas. All the springs are laced into this now. I've got the spring canvas on, which I explained is a heavy duty Hessian. And the purpose of this is to stop the packing falling through. So I've started stitching in the springs here. It's basically a curved needle, and this is called a mattress thread, mattress twine. Comes in different thicknesses. So if you feel where the edge of the spring is, put the needle through. So this is how you start, because this is the first one, because I've just had to re-thread the needle. So push it in, bring the needle out. So this starting off, get the end of the thread, tie a knot on the thread like that, drop it over the needle, pull the knot tight, pull the needle through, so that knot now is a slip knot, pull it tight, tie another knot on top of that, which locks that one off. So that's how you change your thread or start off. So now that spring there has got 3 knots on it, there, there and there. That's what you want, 3 knots on each spring. So now come across here, feel for the spring, so the spring's there. I go in and out, so the needle does that. Get the twine that comes from the knot, wrap it round the needle, so there's your knot, pull it like that, so that's locked itself off onto that spring. Come across to this side now, needle through, twine from the knot, wrap it round the needle, pull the needle out, pull it tight. That's that one done. 3 points on each spring, so I'll do the same again on this one. And there. So that's that spring sewn in, and I'll continue on that all the way across here. Once all the springs are stitched in, then I can start building up the horsehair on top.